Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Thomas Day, and I'm chatting with Milky just about music and me. Yeah. I started writing music pretty young, and honestly, I started producing when I was in sixth grade, but honestly, it's been a crazy journey. I write constantly, and I was never writing that much in school, like as like poems or essays and stuff, but I would just go home and produce and write, and then yeah, just a bunch of music my whole life, honestly. The journey of like songwriting has been interesting because my initial influences when I first like fell in love with music, aside from like classics that my parents put me on, honestly was like when I was in high school I really liked to listen to Daniel Caesar and like Frank Ocean. But when I first signed, I was definitely just kind of in this pop realm, writing with other people, and then I kind of took a break from all that, and I took a break from producing for myself, and then I came back to it for the past like honestly, the past year. Now it's basically all written by me and produced by me, which I feel my influences when I first started are coming out more, I feel. As far as artistry goes, I think the greatest, if you can do it, if you can produce and write all by yourself, it's like a superpower. I feel if you think about it like as like a superhero, if Spider-Man could only like shoot webs but didn't have like senses, I find when I came back to production and producing that it's all in my control, so I can really just like shape anything. And honestly, I don't even think I know what I'm doing, but I just I just like what it sounds like in my head. The EP is interesting because I remember I wrote the first, basically kind of like the lead single which got me to want to release an EP this summer was She Got a Thing About Her. And honestly, that song was interesting because I wrote that song on the treadmill. I wrote the guitar, well, my buddy sent me these guitar chords and I messed with them a little bit, but I wrote that song on the treadmill when I was listening to like a beat in my ears. Then I produced it later that day. But I think thematically I would say that it sounds cliche, but it's kind of not because it's like it's called Kids. That part could be. I also just like a four letter word to like top it off. But yeah, those songs were honestly just me really like finally grasping like growing up in like a sound, and I feel like that was all those songs were a perfect combination of where I am at now creatively. When I first started songwriting and producing, I definitely start with producing more. I'll find chords on like my keyboard on Logic, and I'll just like keyboard with like a piano on in the Logic DAW. But I used to have a process, but honestly, I think my process now is just not overthinking anything. I don't really think about the songwriting too deep unless I'm writing about something even like super personal. But even then I don't try to overthink it too much because I find when I overthink my songwriting too much that it just feels inauthentic. I would play She Got a Thing About Her, Lost Myself for You, probably Tethered, honestly. I think I don't know, those songs I find are the closest to me, and I feel like they're the most unique across the board, especially when it comes to Tethered. If somebody feels a lot and they like lyrics, bro, like listening to Tethered, I found personally like with like headphones in and just like at night, and if you can either read the lyrics or just like feel them, that shit hits, man. I mean, I think so, but yeah, probably those three. There's a chord switch in Lost Myself for You in the bridge that I think is really tight. The truth is you were never meant to be the one to heal my heart. You just want to tear me apart. And I do like a major switch chord, which just like tickles my little brain. This is my first time here. I've never been here, but I fucking love it. I don't know if this is like a thing. I know for a fact this is a thing that like, or this isn't a thing you can only do in Australia. But I'm not a caffeine guy, but recently I've started to do decaf coffees. Just to like feel cool. So like, not that it's giving me any benefit like waking up, but I found that like I feel more aesthetically pleasing and performative drinking coffee. But other than that, I had some crocodile jerky, and then I saw where they filmed Nemo. I don't know, just a lot of energy. I really can't stay in one place. And honestly, I couldn't tell you that every show you're going to expect like the same thing. Every show's you're going to see something different, because I don't even remember what I do on stage, to be so real. I'm just like super fucking sweaty by the end. So I'm just doing a bunch of things. I honestly, like, I probably look like a cartoon character running around. I find with when it comes to like up tempos, I think it's really fun. It gets people amped. It can really show people who you are and like what you want to portray. But I think like the real connection in live shows is definitely acoustic spots, which it's harder when you're opening because you have like little time. But I just did a headline tour, which was like my favorite time ever. And honestly, my favorite part in that set is like just when it's just me and piano, because that's kind of where everything started, honestly. Well, it's just tight because I think the coolest thing about being an artist is actually like finding people that, again, like, it sounds cliche, but it's not. I think like connecting with people is the craziest thing and the craziest feeling. And with this past tour, I'd never experienced like the real amount of connection, because when I first started, and I'd toured before this, I was performing songs that I wrote in a room with like 4 people, which they feel like my songs and they came from personal experiences, but they didn't fully 100% feel like me. So when it's on that headline tour, all that music was basically written by me. And so when they hear it, it's like they like loved me and my music. And that feeling is fucking crazy, because it's like a whole other level of appreciation, and you really feel like you belong in that room, just like they belong to you. It's a really crazy feeling. It's real. 26, bro. Honestly, a lot more music. I've been writing the most I ever have in my life. Definitely more shows. Yeah, just a lot more music that's going to dive into like a crazy... Yeah, honestly, I think this next year I'm going to like break a lot of boundaries, so it's going to be fucking sick. With the new sound right now, I've been listening to a lot of The Strokes, Keane, Daniel Caesar, Frank Ocean. Honestly, those right there kind of nailed it. Crazy mix, but like kind of tight. I think doing a song with Ryan Beatty would be really sick. Yeah, he dropped that album like 2 years ago. I feel like that changed my whole perception of songwriting as a whole. Yeah, Calico's a great record. I would love to write with him. Probably Calico by Ryan Beatty. Like I said earlier, it's funny. I remember when that first dropped. When I was younger, I actually listened. I didn't realize it was him, but I listened to a record from him. I think it was called Dreaming of David, and there's a song on there. I listened to it all the time in the car with my mom. And then later, I saw this album come out, and my buddy was like, "Bro, have you listened to this? Have you listened to this?" talking about Calico. And I was like, no, I haven't. I didn't really like tap into it too much, but I listened to the first one I think he released on there. I could be wrong in that, but it's called Ribbons. And then I listened to the rest of that album. Honestly, for the past, since he's dropped it, those songs have been like my most listened to songs. I'm like a diehard fan of that stuff, bro. Full Glaze style. That is such a good question. Because honestly, on my downtime, if I'm just like fucking around producing, I make scores. So I like to compose like string pieces. Damn. I would love to do like I'm gonna give you a couple answers here. Just because I'm in Sydney, if they made like a Finding Nemo 3, I mean it would probably be like Finding Marlin, because you know they're like doing Finding Nemo, then like Finding Dory, and maybe Finding Marlin. I don't know where the fuck he went. But I would love to make some music for that. Although I think it was Newton that did, or something. Randy Newman or something did the music for that. But that would be tight. I would love to do Finding Marlin. I would also like to do some sort of interstellar movie. Oh, bro, the score of The Theory of Everything is so pretty. I would love to do like a movie like that. Finding Marlin? Yeah. Finding Marlin. Midlife crisis. I like to think like I get into like a flow state when I'm on stage. If I'm thinking, I'm probably honestly not having the best time, because I like just being so locked in. But sometimes I'll be thinking about like having to pee or like food. Oh, it's one of the two. Honestly. Hannah Montana for show. Somewhere Only We Know by Keane. I used to sing that song all the time in the car with my dad. Also Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. Every Beatles song ever. When I was in 4th grade, I saw Bruno Mars practically shake ass on stage. It was really sick. He's such a good performer. He's such a good dancer. And that was when, in 5th grade, I sang When I Was Your Man at in the 5th grade talent show to this girl named Kendall. And it was one of those like cute little 5th grade relationships. But I wasn't her man anymore. I saw Noah Kahan at Bridgestone. I think his live show is ridiculous. I also think he's just a really good guy. I actually saw Ryan Beatty open for that, which honestly, not the place to see Ryan, because I don't know if everybody was appreciative enough of like what they were seeing. Because also they're just like talking like over it, and like his is very delicate. Like seeing him in like a listening room makes somebody elevate for sure. I'd rather be a Spice Girl. Probably like Spice Daddy, or or like Big Sexy. Bro, I saw they do shows outside of the Opera House. That is so tight. I feel like I would be in like Just Dance 4 performing there. I feel like it would be like a fake background. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Be hitting the 2-step up there being like, yeah, this is a video game. Wow, that is such a good question. I would like to see like Omar Apollo sing like Pollen. I think that'd be kind of tight. That'd be an interesting mix. I mean, if you really want me to say the best answer, I would say, I mean, of all time, the Beatles for sure. It's not even close. But right now, as far as like performative males go, I would say McGee. Everybody wants to like just like put flanger on a guitar and like distort it and sound cool. But I think he's so sick. But definitely him right now. I think, I don't know. Oh, I think Harry Styles. I've completely left him out. I love his music. I think he's great. I think like he's one of those artists that you can show like a guy that thinks he's like an alpha male something, and he'd be like appreciative. Like my brother. Honestly, if I could see him in a room, I'd probably just be like, fuck it. I would say The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It's tight. Freckle-Faced Strawberry is a really good one. I read that in like 2nd grade. Well, I didn't. The teacher did. I think another good book would be this is another one in school. Clearly I've only read inside school. This one, there's a character in it that gets a boulder smashed on his head. Forget what it's called. Lord of the Flies. Awful story. Bedtime story for the children. Maybe Ribbons by Ryan Beatty, or either Ribbons or like Toxic by Britney Spears. Honestly, probably Toxic by Britney Spears. Could you imagine, bro? Like the world's like, with the taste of your lips, and you're like, fuck, I'm about to die. Honestly, my whole life, if I'm being honest, I've been obsessed with music ever since I was a kid. And if there's people that are watching this that are like, weren't you like an athlete? I did sports at one point, but it wasn't even remotely close of which one I'd rather do.